AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah. I'm a decent man from the city of demons. That's just stuck in my head. Hope he's getting money. I seen a girl jump on his back and he was walking down the block with her. He tried to come up with a new song. Shit is garbage, AllBall.
All this shit is garbage out here. Let's be honest.
These are facts. Oh, early.
Whoa. The beautiful, the lovely, the extravagant, the sexy. One of the biggest Knicks fans I know. The beautiful. Tori B is in the building early. Listen, I love when they pull up in the building early, especially the ladies. Tori B, what up, baby? Good evening.
Heroic Gab in the building, Nostalgic Nick in the building, King Speech in the building. Tori B, my bad, I didn't say your name. Nostalgic
Man,
Nick.
big shout out to everybody in the building. What up, y'all? What up, fellas?
Come on, man. In the city of demons. Knicks be
Football suckers.
Yeah.
Of course, you would have heard a hit.
That's a fact.
With our guys in here. He's load managing. In the mix. Nostalgic thinks I'm a fan of the show. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Knicks Nation, what's going on? Not sure if I've seen you before, maybe in the other comments when we, but we ain't playing any games. We got our first bit of action this basketball season, AllBall. Huh?
Oh, man. It felt good, man. Felt good. Listen. Wow. Less than 3 weeks away, man. 19 days. October 21st is here. 2.5 weeks. The season is officially here. It's insane that we already in October, man. Wow. And this is one of my favorite months. Like I love horror movies. I'm a Michael Myers fanatic. I grew up on that, so I love the month of October because all month they show all the horror movies. So listen, you have that. You have the NBA season. It's going down, man. I'm ecstatic.
You a big horror film guy?
So when I was young, I'm a little older, but when I was young, horror films was the thing. Jason, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. So that certain things with me, when I grew up on it, it's hard to let go. Paul. So my family, moms and pops, we all grew up like I love Michael Myers. Whether they trash, I watch them all. It's almost like Christmas, Home Alone 1 and 2. That's my life. Christmas, I look forward to waking up, getting something to eat, Nick shorts on, t-shirt on the couch, watch Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2, and then God rest soul, my grandmother, I used to sit and watch March of the Wooden Soldiers with her. That same thing is for Halloween. Me and my two older kids, they don't even, but my younger son, me and him we'll watch Halloween, the Michael Myers joint, we'll watch that shit all day, bro. Literally all day, sit here chilling.
I gotta start doing that. My son again, he's 10. He might not be he's not into that though. He can't sit through a movie. He's in that new school stuff, but I start some traditions, man. Get him into you know what I mean? I didn't know you was, I know you're a movie buff, but
yeah, I'm a movie fanatic.
To have a tradition in October is kind of dope. La Turia, you must not have seen the short. Your man, look, OG gonna be real quiet because he don't talk preseason. Guess again.
I have no
Jump
choice.
Off the roof.
I have no choice.
You have no choice when we talking Knicks. And if we talking Knicks, you know what that means.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all. Back in the mix, baby. Bubba. Ain't playing no games. Damn, I should have just shared that screen, AllBall. That would have been easy. I could show y'all what I'm reading. That makes it a little bit smoother. I'm slacking in my magnet. Huh? Slipping in my pimping. 99-84. The New York Knicks. The Abu Dhabi Knicks. in the mix. See Deuce looking slim. Had a hell of a game. You look spry out there. 99-84. The Knicks win by 15. Of course, no Quentin Grimes, no Joel Embiid, but we don't care. We beating your ass. Leading scores for the 76ers.
No Paul George neither, right?
Of course not. Forgot to mention him.
Exactly.
That's like, I thought he retired already. They don't even have him on the list. VJ Edgecombe, we'll get to him in a second. I thought he looked decent out there. He always looked like an NBA ready player, at least the body type. And him and Maxey, you know, they gonna have to trade one of them guys in the next couple of seasons if he keeps this up. But they have 14 apiece, 10 rebounds for Dominic Barlow. Can't front. I don't remember you being out there, bro. On the Knicks side, 3 guys in double figures. That's Karl-Anthony Towns with 11, 10 for Deuce McBride, 12 for Deuce McBride, and Mikal Bridges with 10. 2 of 5 from 3. Top of the key 3 looked like bummage still. 0 for 5 for Dadier. You look like you still in rookie season training camp. Brunson took it easy. It looked like he wasn't going hard. And of course, big news, Josh Hart was hurt. He left with a bad back, sprawling all over the floor. You know, us in New York, we get a little bit suspect with you. Yo, dog, you really got hurt, or you trying to get out there, enjoy Abu Dhabi for a bit? You know, Abu Dhabi is like, that's the rich version of Saudi Arabia, all ball.
Yeah, I hear.
The real money. That's the real money. Huh? You flying air, whatever that shit is called. UAE, whatever. The real money, Josh Hart. You out there willing and dealing. I'm with you, Josh. Fuck, it's a preseason game.
Yeah. I ain't never going over this. I don't care what airline. I don't need to know what airline go over there. You can have that. Nah.
Oh, boy.
Y'all won't see this sexy face and try to keep me over in Abu Dhabi and all that. Nah, I'm straight.
Fuck them camels.
Let's go.
But what do you how'd you react to the game? Well, you know, obviously Mitch looked amazing. Anybody else stood out to you, or anything else stood out to you from this game?
Well, first and foremost, I watched the whole game. And I don't want to get too excited. You know, I don't want to jump out the window because we know Philly is a mess. No Embiid, no Paul George. You know, 2 probably top 20 players in the NBA. Joel Embiid, we know when he's healthy, he's the best player in the NBA. He rivals the Joker. That's a fact. He former MVP. So, you know, and they don't have the other young man McCain. So, you know, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So I really didn't pay Philly no mind. I looked at us. I was impressed. Deuce is in the competition. He knows I got to play lights out because we got Jordan Clarkson here. So that's what I was watching. I like how Jordan Clarkson and Deuce look offensively. Like I said, Mitch is gonna be Mitch. He just had to stay healthy. But we're a deep team. Like when you really think about it, we should have no problem beating the bad teams. We should not struggle with nobody below 500. Like seriously, the Charlottes, the Chicagos, the Toronto, the Washington, like it should be no problem at all.
Right.
And even when you get to the bad teams in the West, it should be no problem. But I'm still a little bit worried about the defense. I have to be honest with you. We know no OG wasn't out there. But the defense, first quarter, you know, Philly got a lot of, couple alley oops, you know, couple back screens. So I'm just a little worried about the defense, to be honest with you, because we know that's our Achilles heel. No matter how deep we are, no matter how much firepower we have offensively, if you can't get a stop, we seen what happened in Indiana. Couldn't get a stop. So I'm a little worried about that. Because Brunson at the one, we know him defensively, you know, he's bad. Can't really stay in front of nobody. And a guy like Maxey, the other guard, I just watched them just get to their spots and get wherever they wanted to get. So I'm more so worried about the defense, but I'm being honest. As long as we stay healthy and we're clicking offensively, we're going to be a tough out for everybody. And I'm not gonna worry about Cat yet. I don't worry about the preseason. But I would like for him to get involved more. I think this year he has to step up vocally. He has to demand the ball. Games like tonight where there's no Embiid, get on that block and punish whoever's there. There's only maybe 2-3 guys that can guard Cat in the league. Seriously, AD if he's healthy, Joel Embiid. Then you have guys like Gobert, some good defenders. It's a lot of good defenders. But I'm just saying, nobody should be able to guard him. So I'm a little worried about that. We need Cat to be very aggressive on the offensive end and also be a leader and speak up vocally. But what I watched was, wow, we got a deep little roster. And it was just good to see Huck Porty and Kolek out there. Making plays, scoring, not being shy. Nobody looked nervous, but listen, we look like the Indiana Pacers as far as where you can literally go 9, 10, 11 deep. And now, when we play the bad teams, the starters, they don't have to play all those minutes. So that's what I was looking at, Fabian, how deep the roster is. And we look good, man. We look good. I'm being honest with you. I'm not worried about the offense. Defense, guys staying healthy, and Cat just being more vocal and demanding the ball more.
Yeah. And then how much can we really tell off the preseason game? What we just said last episode, we got our asses kicked by Boston the first game of the season, and it was like we beat a whole bunch of bum teams, and then every time we played Boston last season, and we couldn't figure it out. Then all of a sudden, come playoff time, come on, made the conference finals. We got the Celtics up out of there. So how much can we tell off of a preseason game? The first action, they're in Abu Dhabi, so that's something new. And the NBA's never really been there before that I can recall. All the business side to that, I could get into that some other time. But the Knicks handle their business as far as getting the victory, getting your name out there. To your point, I think Karl-Anthony Towns, I don't know if he looks lighter, but Mitchell Robinson looks like he's spry. He looked like he was ready to bounce and, just whatever your game is, can you maintain that? Does it look like you can maintain that for 82 games? And that's tough because Karl-Anthony Towns, he has to work on just, having those good habits from day one. He has bad habits, man. We caught the first foul in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And
still, yeah.
Clyde is just like, yo, this is his biggest. That's his MO. He can't be doing that. And I don't think we can expect him to stop doing that. Hopefully Mike Brown can talk to him. But if Tibbs couldn't get through to him, I think that's one of our worries and concerns that maybe was resolved by the depth of our bench, the rotations, not to be able to see OG and Anunoby out there. That's cool. To give them the day off. Let these guys, I know what you always say, you're getting $40 million. I just seen a quote when they said Michael Jordan would play like at Lincoln, some city, Lincoln, or just these small towns in the preseason. And when they asked him, like, yo, but why do you even play? People take the day off. He's like, yo, it's the only chance you get to see me, period. And, the pride, and I get that part of it. But OG Anunoby also has an injury history. Mike ain't missed as many games. Mike ain't playing this era. So everybody can't be Mike even on that level. He's just the GOAT of so much shit and that has taken place in the NBA. I'd rather, OG take his time with this. But Mitchell Robinson, 16 rebounds, 18 minutes, I think it was. He just looked like Mitch. We talked about it in the summertime. We're flirting with the trade for Zion, and it's like, yo, this is a guy with this team, the way it currently is. If he's not on that court, we're not winning a championship. We're not winning a championship because he makes up for cats, bum fouls. He allows for Jalen Brunson to be that bad on defense. You could funnel him to a Mitchell Robinson. And then, of course, he extends the possessions on the offensive end. We all know this, but just to see him look good out there, comfortable, that off the rebound yam, beautiful, to be spry like that. Can't expect him to be rookie Mitch, all over again, but that was amazing. And then for me, what stood out, obviously, like Dadier, I don't know. I don't know what people are hyped about. We seen enough.
Yeah. Look. Come on, man. Get that roster spot up. Get him out of here, bro.
Right. Like, how can we? I get the youth part, but at some point, if that's what's a part of the piece to get whoever, Giannis, remember, all these guys are flirting with leaving their organizations. Dottie, he better go back to the gym to even stand a chance. He's not impressive. But who was impressive? Yo, Deuce, man.
I like the shooter.
Oh, not Chris Wallace.
What
Wallace, his name?
with the tattoo. I forgot his name.
Garrison Matthews
Listen,
with the headband. The white boy.
No, yes.
In the corner. Yeah, he was 3 or 4. And Shamit was good. Brogdon looked good.
Right, that's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah.
Brogdon looked good. They look like, to what you said about Deuce, they look like they're competing for that spot. I think Deuce, he listens to Knicks Rehab. Deuce, we know for a fact you be in the streets. I'm not gonna say with who. Jumping out of limousines and things. Not gonna say who, but we know you be in these New York City streets. And I can't be mad when you look like that. This kid's in shape. We forget he's a football player in college and all that. This kid is tough, spry. He looks like he lost some weight. And he was one of those guys that were hinting at the whole Thibodeau minutes thing and rotations. Bridges, we forgot to mention last episode, AllBall. He is the only guy that I can remember that's not scared to talk about championships in this organization. Everybody else pussyfoots around it. Bridges said, I didn't turn down that money to not win. I turned the money down for championships, plural. And Josh Hart, I feel like, has a championship effort. You hate when we say the championship Hart because he hasn't won one. But these are guys that we believe will give the effort. Brunson giving the effort. Cat, I don't know. OG, as much as I love you, you ain't play all 82 games and show out ever in your career. Bridges, you've done it in college. You've been to a championship before. He's the only guy that really been to a chip on the team. So before I get to Deuce, I don't like Bridges still with that bum ass fadeaway 5 feet away from the basket. Bro, get a jump hook. You look like you're 7'5" when you in the lane. Bro, throw the hook up there, man. Make it easy on yourself. Anyway, the dude who stood out to me the most was Deuce, man. Like, for me, he's the most impressive because I don't remember him looking that light, keeping his dribble alive, having the confidence to keep his dribble alive. And he's so little. He had his cornrows flapping. He was looking like AI Kyrie for a sec.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I like that he looks like he's quicker on the trigger with the jumper because his jump shot is so pretty to me. I always think it's going in, but I think when you shoot it that fast and you're not thinking about it, now it's translating. Like when Quentin Grimes was here, we'll get to him in a second. He switched his whole jump shot up, went to go work out with JJ Redick, and he switched his whole form up. So the one thing I always notice with shooters, or when someone's shooting the ball, when it looks like you're not thinking about it, I don't care, especially when you put the work in. Someone like a Deuce McBride, who we know is a hard worker, he looked great, man. He looked great. His footwork in the paint, that was outstanding. It was just comfortable. And I know, again, it's preseason, but those are the guys that need that. We don't need Brunson to show off his footwork to us. We know what you do, bro. We want to see something. What else can you do? Like, take your time to a game 1 of this season, AllBall.
I mean, big shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Hit that like button, share, like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. But y'all get in the chat. What do y'all think about the game today? How do y'all feel as Knicks fans? How do y'all feel about the roster? Like I said, for me, just watching, wow, like you got guys like Purdy, Brogdon, Shamit, Kolek, like Clarkson. Like these are guys that, in those games where we up 20 plus against bad teams, the starters can get rest. The young man from France, he gonna have to get it together.
I was gonna say he looked like Bizarro Ben Wallace out there. He gotta get his rhythm up.
He has to get it together because he's gonna be a vital part as well. Because he's gonna have to help defend. I'm thinking about imagine if we had him to put him on Pascal Siakam in the Indiana series, maybe to get a little physical to help OG a little bit. So, I just feel Mike Brown, which I said about Tibbs last season, watching this preseason game today, looking at the roster, looking at all the firepower we have, look at how deep we are. Pause. Mike Brown is going to have to coach his ass off. I said that about Tibbs last season, and I'm telling y'all now, this is the first year since I would probably say 95 maybe that we have a legit opportunity to win a championship. Mike Brown has to get it done. The Knicks, they have to get it done. There's no excuse. Looking at that game today, and like I said, this has nothing to do with Philly because Philly is depleted. Like it's nothing to say, well, we did this to Philly. Philly ain't got nobody. Like I said, no McCain, no Embiid, no Paul George. Like, this is all on us. And I'm just watching how everybody looks comfortable when guys is hitting shots. Like I said, we didn't even have OG. Josh Hart had to exit the game. So us fully healthy, I'm gonna be honest. We should be the best team in the East. It shouldn't even be close. Understand what Cleveland did last season. Understand Milwaukee still has Giannis. But I'm gonna be honest. It should be a gap. How Boston and Cleveland was a gap last season. We should now step up into that position, and it should be a gap. It shouldn't even be close. This is all on Mike Brown, my dude. I'm telling you right now. This is on Mike Brown. He has to implement offense and defense that's going to take us to the next level because we have everything. Brunson and Cat is not going to get worse. Our guys are not going to get worse. We made some additions. Deuce has something to play for and something to prove. Guys like Brogdon and Shea, like these guys are fighting for spots. So you have hungry guys, you have thirsty guys, you have vets, you have it all. You have a superstar in Brunson. I'm gonna be honest. Watching today, I literally, as I'm watching the game, I said, "This is going on Mike Brown," because that's what lost us the Indiana series last season. Coaching. Yeah, we was bad defensively, but coaching. This is all on Mike Brown. I'm sorry. And if he doesn't get the job done, looking at that roster, barring injury, if we're fully healthy all season and Brunson and Cat produce this season how they produced last season, it's no excuse. We should be the number 1 seed and we should be in the finals.
And also, I think we all agree. Seeing the comments, they said Yabu looked lost. Who
He
didn't
does.
look lost? You know who didn't look lost was Huck Porty. Like, for someone who got hurt like that, what was it, in April? He had the surgery. He's coming back. He was trying to go and make the playoffs again, which, by the way, we get into that some other time. Jason Tatum and these dudes, y'all out here visiting LeBron's doctor on the low. Where you just sprying like this? Imagine if these guys were able to come back in the day and bounce back like that and be able to play with that level of competitiveness. These guys take 30 days off after spraining their thumb. But Huck Porty was trying to get out there for the playoffs. He had that same plastic-looking, kneecap thing. Caught the rebound off, the tip-in rebound with 2 hands, looking like a monster. He looks more like what we need from game 1 preseason compared to Yabusele, who's out there shooting threes. That to me is like, I understand the modern game, but Huck Porty's been in for a year already. So he knows at least the players. Definitely the system changed with the coach, of course. But he just looked comfortable to me all ball. And that point that you're making about Mike Brown, how this is going to be on Mike Brown, even if things go well and we're all healthy. Now we talked about Deuce competing with Malcolm Brogdon and Jordan Clarkson and Garrison Matthews apparently. Okay, but the Yabusele thing, along with I guess Diarra, and they more than likely will get playing times because Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Roberts are going to sit down. So who is that third guy up next behind the big men? Is it going to be Yabusele or Huck Porty? And those little minor details are what we pay attention to. And specifically for me, because I remember Keegan Murray, he broke the record for 3-pointers with Sacramento. And I might be a broken record here, but I just seen him getting too much rope. I seen what's the dude that used to be on Atlanta? They went to Sacramento. Herter, too much rope. Somehow what did Mike Brown do to have those guys compete? How did he get them to change their game? I don't remember Keon Ellis changing his game. Was super talented. They don't have that excuse here because you can say Keegan Murray didn't have anybody on the bench to compete with to replace him with. Okay, but I'm looking to you now. Yabusele or Huck Porty, are they going to have a short leash? Because I doubt they can get 18 minutes apiece. One of those guys are going to get no minutes. They have a bunch of DMPs if everything goes well. So maybe it's a good problem to have, but you still got to figure that thing out on our way to the playoffs.
Well, I mean, that's a great problem to have. And once again, like I just said, that's on Mike Brown. That's on the coaching staff. But I think those two guys, depending on who we playing, depending on the matchups, that's who you know will be in the game. Huck Purdy is more athletic. He looks a little quicker. Of course, he's bigger, better rebounder. So to me, it depends. On the team that we're playing in the matchups. But once again, we watch last season in the playoffs. We watch how Rick Carlisle went deep into his bench to the 10th and 11th guy, and they came in and made a difference. So guys like Yabusele and Huck Purdy, they're going to have to play that part. Where it's like, hey, you got to understand, y'all might not get the 15 to 20 minutes a night, but there are going to be games where you're going to be very vital and very important. So, that's why I say coaching is very important at this point and at this level, because you're going to have guys that they want to get their money, they want to get playing time, and how are they going to get those big contracts if they're not showing a skill set? So that's why I say this it's tricky, man. It's tricky. So, great point. I just think with those two guys, it depends on the matchup and who we playing and who's playing well at the moment. If one is cooking, you got to keep letting them cook. But I think that's a great problem to have.
Absolutely. I'm hoping for it because you want to see, to what you always say, we don't want any excuses. And it would be a built-in excuse if somebody got hurt and they couldn't play whoever. All right, cool. Well, everybody's healthy. So how come you don't know we don't want Yabusele? Stop. We don't care about the hopeful three. Forget all that. We heard Isaiah Stewart talking trash. I don't know where. Oh, if I was healthy, I would have guarded Cat. But you weren't, big dog. Go hit that
Exactly.
gym. Got your ass busted out there.
But to have Yabusele and Huck Purdy, gotta remember, guys are injury prone. You gotta have guys like OG, guys like Mitch. So those two guys can fill in that spot. Not saying that they can produce like them, but so to have a deep roster like that, just in case. I think I like the roster. I really love the roster. Like I said, now it's up to the coaching staff to coach this thing to the championship, because we watch what good coaches and great coaches do when they have rosters like this. Sorry, Rick Carlisle had the Indiana Pacers in Game 7 against OKC, who nobody thought Indiana had a chance. We all said they may win one game. And if Halliburton doesn't go down, they may win the championship in OKC on the road, who's damn near unbeatable. So, coaching with this type of roster, we should be right in the finals.
We ain't playing with y'all. And I'd rather have this issue than the Philadelphia 76ers issues, who in this article, according to the Real GM wiretap, you guys got to change your names, man. You having me feel kind of funny on these wiretaps, guys. Sources detail Joel Embiid's isolation and distrust within 76ers organization last season. The 76ers are projecting optimism entering training camp, but sources close to the organization revealed deep-seated dysfunction centered around Joel Embiid during last season's 24-58 collapse. Former staffers and player associates describe an environment plagued by mistrust, miscommunications broken down. According to the Ringer, the organization was built around one guy who doesn't trust anyone and mostly keeps to himself. Joel Embiid appeared in 19 games last year. That isolation created organizational chaos. With Joel, even if there is a plan in place, you can't say anything about it, a second former team staffer said. Tensions escalated in November with the ESPN leaks to Shams, whatever. People left that night feeling like they had turned a corner. Everyone promised to keep the details in-house, and then they wake up and all the details are out. A person close to the player said it all created an environment of dysfunction. So that was when there was a leak with ESPN Shams, with grievances directed at Embiid becoming public. The breach damaged locker room trust and appeared to affect Joel Embiid most significantly. AllBall. That's why I said before. I brought that up. Trust doesn't seem to be an issue with the Knicks, especially when Tibbs was here. When anybody who started chirping too much, they got rid of those guys. They made sure even Quentin Grimes was on that team now. Got rid of him. Obi Toppin, who almost won the championship, got rid of him. But Joel Embiid, what do you feel about this? Because it's a lot going on with the process. Like it seems like the end of the road, really.
I mean, it's one guy that for some reason he doesn't get enough blame and enough flack. And that is one of the most overrated GMs in sports history. You know who I'm talking about. What's his name again?
Daryl Morey.
Exactly. Daryl Morey. He's part of the blame for this. Now, he's not to blame that Embiid gets injured or is injury prone. But look at the players he tried to build around Embiid with the Harden, which was a mess. You went and got Paul George, which nobody agreed to that. And then you gave him all that money. The only good thing the only highlight y'all have is Maxey. But with Embiid is about to be put in that category with T-Mac, Penny Hardaway, D Rose, Grant Hill. The what ifs. He's about to be the biggest what if. At this point, we don't know if he can get healthy or stay healthy. We don't know if this is his fault or not. But listen, it's sad. It's sad. I said this 2 years ago. You supposed to trade him. When his stocks was super high, you were supposed to trade him. Everybody knows Philly is a bad organization. We know that. You can tell. And then now you have your star player saying, I don't trust none of y'all. Last time I heard a player not trusting the organization, he was traded, a la Kawhi Leonard in the San Antonio Spurs. So how do you not take a page out of that book? You know what Philly could have got for Embiid 2 years ago?
Could have robbed us.
So remember, I wanted Embiid. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's sad. But I think at this point, I'm not gonna say his career is over, but I don't know what he can do to stay healthy. And with a talent and a guy like that, how do you build your future around him? How do you give him what is he gonna want? 400 million? If guys is getting 300, what are you gonna want? 350, 400? How do you do that? So Philly is a mess, man. Philly is a mess. So between Embiid and Paul George, listen, it's sad, but just to finish my opinion, he's about to be in that category. 5 years from now, we're gonna be saying, what if? Who's the biggest what if? If this person never got injured, how great would he have been? We already know the four. T-Mac, D Rose, Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway. Joel Embiid is about to be in that category. Sad.
I don't think Penny had a real chance. Grant Hill, I don't even think is fair, right? Like, I think if he was healthy, if he had a better surgery, if he didn't get the staph infection, it feels like he would have been a different level because he proved like, yo, I'm still nice, still really good.
Hold on. Stay right there. Hold. You telling me if Penny couldn't stay healthy, Penny wouldn't have been on another level?
No, I think he was on a different world, but
right.
Joel Embiid doesn't have the same excuse as Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway's career was basically done with his injuries, and B still comes out, and it's like, I
disagree, Fabian.
What do you mean?
Fabian, and I don't mean to cut you off. Joel Embiid, he's been injury prone since college.
Right.
Philly drafted him, and he couldn't get on the floor for 2 years. Right. So I'm just saying, all those guys have something in common where it's like they can't stay healthy.
Yes, but Embiid in the playoffs, we've seen them. They lost. When they lost, we said we were okay with blaming Ben Simmons. We were okay with it because Ben Simmons with the layup and all that, and well, both of y'all a bunch of bums. Because why didn't you kill Atlanta? Like we have it against they didn't they lose against the Celtics? It ain't just last season that this is all on him. He ain't never made the conference finals, and we've seen a lot of Joel Embiid that's like, yo, you could have beaten those Celtics. I think Miami one year. And of course, the most unfortunate thing that we can't argue is Kawhi Leonard hitting the game winner. That's the only time we can really say you didn't advance, because that was just a straight real dude that did that. Great shot. But Embiid had way more time to prove and play during his MVP level than Penny Hardaway, D Rose, Grant Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like he had way more of a chance to establish himself as a new Bill Walton than they did.
But and that's a great point. But with Embiid, if we're talking about years, I think they all have the same amount of years, where it's like that 2 to 5 year window, and then after that, like think about it. Embiid in the playoffs, he never was fully healthy, bro. Bro, when he played this in the playoffs, listen, man, his eye was like he was twisted. So that's what I'm saying. This is something that maybe he can't help. I don't know. I don't wish that on anybody. I wish he could be healthy. Because I'm gonna be honest, him healthy, he's a hell of a basketball player. He get a championship with that skill set. And listen, there's gonna be some furniture moving when we talk about some of the greatest centers to play this game. He will have to be mentioned. How we go berserk about the Joker, you would have to do the same thing about Embiid with that skill set, because he can play. He can put the ball on the floor and get by you with a crossover and do the same thing, hit the 3-point shot. So I just feel that what you're saying, as far as you're not being fair a little bit, I get what you're saying with the penny, but I think Joel Embiid has the same problem with all those guys, meaning, bro, he can't stay healthy, bro. He just can't.
And I think you put yourself in checkmate once you brought that name up. Because when it was time to play Joker in Denver, some way, somehow, Joel Embiid is MIA. And it's things like that we look to as fans, as competitors, and we go, yo, you killed Joker in Philly. You go bananas. But now we all know Mile High City is tougher for athletes to go play ball. And for whatever reason, not only do you not go forget competing, you don't play. And that seems to be what we think of Joel Embiid. Like, yo, all right, you injured. You got the injury excuse. No doubt. We'll give you that. But there's also something else that we go, nah, Penny competed. Grant Hill competed.
But
Derrick Rose competed. It didn't matter who was in front of Derrick Rose.
My actual question that a lot of people are scared to ask, and they duck. Fully healthy, no injuries. Who are you taking? Joel Embiid or the Joker?
If they never get hurt, I go Embiid. If they never get hurt, I go Embiid, because he's a monster. He's a monster. But Joker, again, it's because that's what I'm saying, that this thing isn't just about health. There's something about y'all that, remember, Joker gets eaten up by Anthony Davis when he's on right. These guys get physical with him. You can't get physical with Embiid. His shit was mad strategy. We're going to get into passing lanes. He used to be down in the post way more often. He couldn't kick out of double teams. Then this guy, what's his name, Nick Nurse, put him at the top of the key and let him just dump the ball off. And Philly looked like a championship team, we were being real. The same season, we looked like a championship team, in my opinion, 2 seasons ago before he got hurt, first round against us. So talent-wise, I don't think you take even the Magic Johnson of centers. You can't even take him over a dominant center. That's just, you're gonna have to foul him. He's dirty as hell. And so what can you really do with a dude like that who could shoot up and under, finesse with a handle like that? Definitely. And be fully healthy, yes. But I don't know if he's as competitive as Joker and these dudes, bro. I think talent is not what we arguing. It's I don't know how much heart he really has and how much full of shit, if we being real, Joel Embiid is.
Yeah, I'll just make my last point. I don't think he's not competitive. I disagree with you with that. Whatever that reason is, he don't like going to Denver. I don't think he's ducking the Joker. I don't think nobody's scared of the Joker. I'm being honest. The Joker ain't a great defender, so I disagree with that. But for me, listen, man, these guys are rushing back when they injured. I think a year or 2 or 2 years ago when he was injured, he shouldn't have came back and played against us in the playoffs. If you ain't got a chance of winning the championship, sit down and get fully healthy. Let's be realistic. You got guys, like you said, Tatum was out there. I see Kyrie out there. Bruh, relax. Take your time. Y'all still young. The NBA ain't going nowhere. You got years ahead of you. Do not rush back and further injure yourself and make it worse. And I think a guy like Daryl Morey, who's known to be a liar, James Harden blew him up and couldn't wait to get out of there. Listen, I think this Philly thing with Embiid not being healthy and just a mess. Listen, man, Daryl Morey, I don't know how he isn't fired. Like, seriously, how does he have this much rope?
Cause he's still pulling the same game that the other GM was. Cause he's gonna have to either trade one of them dudes along with Embiid, dump off that contract, or let Embiid sit and then develop these kids. Cause we don't Grimes, VJ Edgecombe, and the kid and Tyrese Maxey, they're all athletic two guards basically. I don't think Maxey's a point guard. Like, maybe he's a newfound point guard, but these guys are all super athletic. You're gonna have to get
Well,
one
they
of
have a
them up.
point guard, McCain. He hurt.
Oh, right. He hurt his thumb. Another guy,
Right.
who I think skill wise, he blew
Yeah.
me away. The kid blew me away. He's more
Listen.
skilled in the mid range and more than those guys were earlier in their careers. But you got 4 guards there who are available for you as Daryl Morey, and he basically drafted 2 of them. But now you got 4 guys that any team would want. So now you got leverage, and who do you want to be the general manager to make a trade like that than someone like Daryl Morey, who maybe could possibly sucker people into a deal? Because come on now,
Yeah.
like you said, $300 million for Joel Embiid today is bananas.
Bro, they gave your man 2 and some change. Paul George. I got business. That's a trade piece. It's a trade piece. Exactly. So for me, my last point, which I said it was last time, but this is serious. My last point, you need to have a sit down and a talk with Joel Embiid and figure it out. Yo, listen, get healthy. We're going to try this one more time. Maybe sign him a 3-year contract, with an option for the 4th. But let him know if this doesn't work and you're not happy and you don't trust us, we'll trade you to wherever you want to be traded to. But I think, you can't give up on a guy like Embiid if he's willing to do what it takes to stay healthy. But, for me, I just think a guy like Daryl Morey, he ducks a lot of smoke. If this was any other GM in this situation, they would have been fired already. Look what they was willing to do with Nico Harrison. Everybody owes him an apology. Now, look, them fully healthy. It's not even close. They have the best team in the West. And then you pull off that and get the number 1 draft pick. So, like I said, I think Daryl Morey with this Philly thing is just a mess, but I love it.
Oh, I think AllBall's Wi-Fi, they don't respect it. I did want to get into this guy real quick. Quentin Grimes. He wasn't able to re-sign, or he did re-sign with Philly for $8 million. And he was asking for $30 million. And it's very weird. Not weird, but it's we'll wait for AllBall to get ready. AllBall Wi-Fi is like equals Joel Embiid's knees. Hilarious. Hilarious, King Beach. I was gonna skip to the Quentin Grimes thing real quick. AllBall.
Am I good? Because it just went off. You can hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, we can hear you though, perfectly fine. With them, Philly just cannot offer Embiid that much money along with that Paul George contract is ridiculous. Off that alone, he should be fired. The Paul George contract, even in retrospect, like that's insane. How much money are they making? They were talking about, if I'm not mistaken, Philly moving out of the 76ers, moving out of Philly and going to Jersey. So how much money are you actually making with the 76ers? And you wouldn't have that issue if Embiid was Embiid, Paul George was Paul George, Ben Simmons was Ben Simmons. Like all these guys, James Harden was James Harden. There's so many mistakes that were being made, and now did they finally make a good decision with Quentin Grimes real quick because they held out on him, and it was almost like they were forced to because you can't offer more money than that anyway. And knowing Daryl Morey, he probably would have offered him more. He just didn't have the money.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate with the Quentin Grimes situation. To me, I think he was asking for too much money, but I think he deserved more than $8 million. To be honest with you, Quentin Grimes, listen, he has 6 man of the year capabilities. Like you put him on a good team, like he's tough, man, and he's got way better offensively. And I love him on defense. I was mad that we got rid of him, but he kind of went a little berserk with the money he was asking for. But you listen, one thing in life, all they can say is no, right? He ain't committed a crime. You gotta ask, and if they go for it, they go for it. But it just goes to show you that listen, these guys have seen all this money being thrown around. And it's like, yo, hold up. Well, let me get this. And he got humbled quick. Look how they humbled Cam Thomas over there in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So I just think, Quentin Grimes, Philly got a lot of pieces over there, like you said, where, they can make a nice trade, man. They can make a nice trade. But what's the purpose of making that trade if your star player can't stay healthy? Because I'm going to be honest, with McCain, with Embiid, with Maxey, and then you bring somebody else in there, listen, they'll be a tough out for anybody. Look how tough they played us in that series, and they was injured. So, big shout out Grimes. He got a contract, which I think he's gonna play his ass off. He's gonna get some money somewhere else. He's not staying in Philly. He's definitely gonna go somewhere else. But it's just unfortunate that some of y'all guys without pricing yourself. There's no way in the world you was gonna get that, bro. No way in the world. You ain't do nothing to get that. I'm sorry. Great player, good player, but you wasn't getting that, bro. Sorry.
Especially after Kuminga signed for the 24, and then the media was already reporting, you ain't getting that, bro. Miami should be hollering at him, and they also should be hollering at this guy who Kendrick Perkins seems to be going back and forth with. See what he had to say about Westbrook after 15 seasons in the league.
Do we realize that training camp started and Russell Westbrook is not on the roster?
I'd like to believe that that's by choice. He's waiting for the right opportunity. I
believe that's not by choice. Now, let me say this. This very situation, this moment right here that we're in, Russell Westbrook not being on the roster, is what hurt me and Russell Westbrook personal relationship. Because on sometime 3-4 years ago, when he was on the Lakers roster, okay, and reports came back to me from general managers around the league, and I said it on television, that, hey, man, Russ got to be careful now. The rumor is around the league is that if he don't be careful, temper it down, he might find himself out the league, okay? This is what I said. After that, I get a long paragraph from his wife, Nina. She reads me her rights, or thought she did. I thought you would never turn your back. After that, our relationship was over with, right? Because then my wife get involved. They go back and forth because I ain't doing nothing but doing my job. And I'm not.
All right, that's like.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Yeah, you think it's crazy.
I didn't know that they went into that. I thought, I was wondering why he thought he was out of the league. Thank you, I guess, for letting us know that maybe Russell Westbrook is deemed as a problem. Like that was the rumor in Denver. They were trying to blame it on Aaron Gordon, that he came out and said, Westbrook's a problem in the locker room. Obviously, what happened in LA, that's when Shannon Sharp showed he's a hypocrite, or he was just being a hypocrite about, players, where he was such a LeBron fan. He was part of the whole, bringing down a Russell Westbrook, who you brought in, that had a great season in Washington defensively, whatever. But he has been through a lot of ups and downs. We definitely have criticism of Russell Westbrook. We don't think he's a real point guard, none of that. But to see it go out like this, to be honest, he's still one of these freaks of nature, old boy. That's why I find it, funny, because a team like the Miami Heat, obviously you deal with a Jimmy Butler because you feel like he has enough potential and talent. You didn't think championship, but definitely to at least lead the rest of the team to show the Heat culture. And I've gotten nothing but like Heat culture type vibes from Russell Westbrook. So why not sign him for $2-3 million for a team like that? You ain't making the playoffs. Like, I don't see why you don't want a hard worker in there. He ain't gonna be worried about no body fat. Like, Westbrook is he's chiseled. He's a statue out there. So, I didn't know Kendrick was going that far. That's way too, like, we don't have to know things like that. That's the other thing with these guys. Like, how do you not know what to not, what to, what I'm saying, that what you should or shouldn't be saying? All I want to hear about is Why is he not in the league? Shit ain't got nothing to do with your girl or his girl. Why is he not in the league? Is it because Westbrook is, biting some more than he could chew, all ball? This is, might be end of the road for him too.
I mean, from my perspective, he's not a good basketball player no more. He doesn't make anybody better. What does he do great? Man, we don't need no energy guy that's 15 years in the league. You're not young. We watched him in Denver. How many mistakes he makes? How many bad shots he takes? How many turnovers? How many just low basketball IQ things he does? Like, these are things that people are scared to say because, he's definitely a Hall of Famer, great basketball player, had a great career. But if you watch him on the basketball court, you what is his positives at this point in his career? Not a great shooter. The triple double thing been over, so he ain't a great passer. So we gonna get him for what? So I I don't have an insider like Kendrick Perkins. So for me, it ain't even about what GMs are saying as far as him being hard to deal with. I just think GMs and coaches is going if I don't may not want him around my young players because once again, in his mind, he probably still think he's a starter. He probably still think he needs significant minutes. And then when you have a team where you're trying to win a championship, a la like Denver, you watch them in Denver. Bro, he's out of control. So I just think his basketball play is what has him not in the league anymore. I bet if he could shoot, somebody would pick him up. You get what I'm saying? I bet if
Yeah.
he was a solid defender, now of course, great energy, things like that, but he ain't running the offense. He not. So for me, we have to start being honest. Guys like KD, Curry, LeBron, they all 15 to 20 plus years in the league, but we see what they can still do. Russell Westbrook is nowhere near on that level. Sorry. Sorry. So for me, I'm not signing you if you're not helping my team win. So, him and Kendrick Perkins, whatever they had going on, listen, I don't care about none of that. It ain't got nothing to do with, my eyes are telling me, nah, he done, bro. Sorry, he done. So, I don't think nobody's going to pick him up. I think eventually he's going to probably have to announce he's retired.
Yeah, I just would have thought it was them. I'm trying to think of any other team that's known to be like, if Thibodeau was here, maybe like that. Like these guys want these kind of players, energy players. But I think once you said he ain't got a jump shot, it's like the risk reward is not high enough on one side.
Bro, I'm sorry to cut you off. He will shoot you out of a game. Bro, we see what he does. Bro, he'll take a bad shot when you don't supposed to take the shot. He'll throw a turnover when it's like, what? So, bro, we have to be honest. Some guys are not going to be in the league anymore because of what they don't bring to the table anymore. What he was doing 3, 4, 5 years ago compared to today, bro, is no more triple doubles. It's no more none of that. So,
but now that you say that, right? It's funny because I didn't realize until Dom, shout out to Dom Dropper, he would always tell me like, yo, first take changed the culture, first take changed the way we talk about basketball, the way we talk about sports and stuff. I was like, yo, to be honest, I'm kind of used to that being from New York, but I didn't give him enough credit for just making me understand that, because so many people will repeat Russell Westbrook's point that by the time I got to telling people like, yo, he's just not a point guard to me. Even in his prime, at his peak, before the triple doubles, I'm like, James Harden should be their point guard. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Like, I'm just talking about basketball. This guy's more of a two guard who go up ball, get the rebound for you. He's like a super Josh Hart back then, super athletic version of that. So I didn't realize people were listening to Skip Bayless calling him Westbrook and all that, and that now I'm thinking about it may play into why they got into a beef, Kendrick Perkins and Westbrook, because they feel like that's what got him out of LA is the outside noise. And it's like, yo, dog, no. Like, it's not that. It's the fact that you can play well in spurts, but a coach will have to realize, like, yo, if this shit ain't working, I gotta bench you. And then if you really don't have the attitude that a lot of these guys complain about, like we seen DeMarcus Cousins, we saw what you did in Puerto Rico, going to the end of the bench, going bananas. Here's somebody with your water bottle, and come on, man, approaching him with you're joining his face. Like, but oh boy, I'm saying I don't know what you do to earn a rep like that. Either way, I don't know if you still at super athletic like that. Even Carmelo, it sounds good on the podcast, bro, but to politic and everything, I don't know. Because to me, Carmelo double talks about his stay in New York while he got here. Same thing with DeMarcus Cousins, a couple guys. It's just like it's something about you got to be able to play ball off the court too. It seems like.
But that's a great point, right? But I just think I'm gonna just stay on the guys we're talking about. DeMarcus Cousins and Russell Westbrook. The way the game is being played today, they can't play it. Let me tell you something. Dennis Rodman was a maniac. None of them was nuttier than Dennis Rodman off the court, but he still kept getting contracts. The Lakers took him. You know why? Because he was able to still rebound. Now, of course, it didn't pan out, and eventually they figured out, nah, it's over. But if DeMarcus Cousins was still able to play this game at the level that they need him to play, he would have a contract. If Russell Westbrook, he can't play the two. Name me a two guard that can't shoot. Name me a two guard where you could just leave wide open. I'm sorry, bro. So at that position, it's tough. It's tough, and Kendrick Perkins, half of the conversation, I believe. The other half, I don't know. But for me, okay, you may have some rumors going around, but I think bundle that up with, listen, the game has passed them. Sorry, the game has passed you, and it's just sad. But I kind of figured, like, yo, watching him in Denver, listen, man, you know how many times I was at the TV and said, yo, bro, take him out the game. Sorry. Because he's on his own time. So it's unfortunate, but I think he's done. I don't think no one's picking him up. He's done.
Finito?
Yeah, he's done. He's done. I mean, just real quick, pick him up, and what is he gonna do? He ain't running the offense. Now, if you need a guy that's just gonna bring you some good energy and maybe sell some tickets, I get it. But if you're trying to contend for a championship and you need that last roster spot, bro, he can't shoot. He misses layups. He's erratic. He's not a great defender. He turns the ball over. What does that say? Nah, so yeah, I think he's done.
I'm with you. I was trying to get to the bottom of it. No ball got there quickly. You know why? Because that's
ball suckers.
Flea will be here next week, next Tuesday, 8 p.m. You know my voice.
Let's go Knicks.
Come on, man. First preseason game down the drain. How many more days, AllBall?
19, baby. October 21st. The season is officially here. Knicks first game, October 22nd, at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We are here, baby.
We hype. Mike Brown. We watching you. First game, one and done. Good job.
Watching you, nigga. I'm on your ass. I'm on your ass, boy. I ain't do that in a minute.
Yeah, the Miss, what's her name from the Cosby Show, the teacher, Miss Dragon. Remember Miss Dragon? When she was bad, she took the glasses off. They were like, oh.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Come on, man. Tuesday, 8 p.m. We ain't playing out here with y'all. Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening. And enjoy your weekend. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.